I work for the Department of Resident Life. So I'm the person that sends you all the emails that it looks like you read, so thank you for that. I also oversee the Off-Campus Housing Services office. So if you call my office for questions, you'll be calling Off-Campus Housing Services. So we help y'all navigate what you're doing as well as off-campus stuff. But this is what we're focused on today. And my partner in crime.
I'm Christopher Mason. I work at the courtyards at UMD. So welcome, and let's go ahead and begin.
You're here with lots of questions, I can tell, about traditional residence halls versus affiliated housing. So who all lives in a residence hall right now? Anybody live off campus? Nobody today? Okay. So you all know what it's like to live in a residence hall. There's a lot of variety when it comes to residence halls. There's these brand new buildings like we're in today. There's the historic district on South Campus, and suites, apartments, traditional cinder blocks like I lived in when I was a college student. I think the biggest difference between living in the residence halls and living in affiliated housing is how you pay. When you're living in the residence halls, everything goes to your university bill. That's not the case for the affiliated housing. You actually pay to a separate company, which is Capstone On-Campus Management. South Campus Commons or courtyards are public-private partnerships. That's why my email is ppcleasing@umd.edu. So the public-private partnership means that the university owns the land and Capstone On-Campus Management manages the building. When you pay your monthly installment, you're going to be paying to South Campus, to Capstone via South Campus Commons or courtyards. In South Campus Commons, you still have some resident life oversight in the way of resident directors and resident assistants that live in the buildings to help promote community and be there if you have any issues. Courtyards also has a resident director and resident assistants. The only difference is that they're employed directly by Capstone, and in Commons they're employed directly by the department. We did that. You also, just like in on-campus apartments, you're not required to have a meal plan. Basically, if you have an oven, you're not required to have a meal plan. You can still have one, because sometimes that's really nice and convenient. I have an oven, but I still go to Whole Foods for dinner sometimes. Release also, it would include the holidays and semester break. So right now we're getting ready for Thanksgiving break. Some of you will have to move out, right? Yeah. In South Campus Commons and Quarries, you don't have to. You can have your Thanksgiving dinner in your apartment in Commons or Quarries. Or you can leave, but it's still, you can come and go as you please, whatever works best for you. Also, during the longer breaks, you can come and go. So if you want to take, a summer class, you don't have to pay extra to stay on campus. So you can live there through the whole term of your lease without having to pay extra during holidays and breaks. So next, Chris is going to tell you a little bit about the two properties.
So I'm sure you all want to go home for Thanksgiving break, but you're more than welcome to stay there if you would like to as well. So quick overview of South Campus Commons. It's about 2,200 students live there and approximately 600 apartments. Just like many of the residence halls, there's 24-hour service desk in various buildings throughout South Campus Commons. It's a secured building, meaning that the apartments are interior inside, and you swipe in with your University of Maryland ID to get access into the buildings. There's also wall-to-wall carpeting with wood floors in certain apartments at South Campus Commons. South Campus Commons, as you know, stretches kind of all the way from here to downtown area of Jason's Deli all the way to Prince Frederick Residence Hall. So there is a long stretch of buildings throughout South Campus Commons. So they're close to classes, close to shopping, restaurants, downtown areas. Courtyards has about 720 students that live at the Courtyards. One cool thing about the courtyards is that every student that lives there is allowed to register one vehicle at no expense. So that's a cool thing. You don't have to pay for parking at the courtyards. There's also a fitness center that was just renovated last year. We also have a recreation room with pool, ping pong, and some games, the beach volleyball court. We have a outdoor pool as well that opens up the first week of May, closes right after Labor Day as well that you can access. We also have a couple computers with free printing. Bring your own paper and you can print as much as you like. So those are some of the features at both sites. So one cool thing about South Campus Commons and the courtyards is what you pay is all inclusive, okay? So just like in the residence halls where you don't have to pay for electricity, you don't have to pay for your internet or your cable, it's the same similar setup at the courtyards and South Campus Commons. It includes your utilities. So cable, you have the campus cable and you have the campus internet as well. You also have electricity is also included, all in your installment rate. Also, not that any of you all care, but there's also a phone included in most places as well. And the kitchens are full size. They have appliances such as your fridge, your ice maker, stove, dishwasher, microwave, garbage disposal. You have a washer and dryer inside each apartment. You don't have to lug your laundry down a hallway. It all can be done right inside of your apartment. And so that's one cool thing, and that's really the only place you can find everything all inclusive. Besides the residence halls at the University of Maryland, South Campus Commons and the courtyards are the only place to live where everything is all inclusive. Other places you have to either pay, they pay a little bit of electricity, you have to pay the difference, or cable's not included, or other things aren't included in there. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind when you're looking for a place to live next year. So a little bit about kind of what the differences between both sites and what sites kind of fit you. So obviously South Campus Commons is on south part of campus. If you have many classes in that area, maybe that's more of an interest to you. South Campus Commons does not have 4-bedroom, 4-bath apartments. So they have 4-bedroom, 2-bath apartments, correct? Mm-hmm. But not the 4-bedroom, 4-bath. If you're looking for a 4-bed, 4-bath, that option is available at the courtyards. They also have limited availability of studio 1-bedroom apartments, a very, very small amount. And then they also have some 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom units available. But the vast majority at South Campus Commons is going to be 4-bed, 2-bath. Courtyards is located right across from the Xfinity Center. It's a garden-style community. Does anybody know what that means, garden-style? It means the apartment front door is like on the exterior. So instead of swiping in like at South Campus Commons, kind of have access right to your front door area. It does have an after-hours desk. It's open until 10 p.m. on school nights and 8 p.m. On non-school nights. It has a clubhouse where all those features we talked about, like the gym, the rec room, is all located inside there, along with the office. The courtyards floor plans, we have 2-bed, 2-bath standard. A larger version of the 2-bed, 2-bath is a deluxe at the courtyards. 4-bed, 4-bath apartments and 4-bed, 2-bath apartments are also available. We also have a select number of 4-bed, 2-bath quads, and that is when you share a bedroom with another person. As far as security, your unit at the courtyards has a panic button inside the bedroom, also has an alarm right outside the front door area as well. So the cost. So like in the residence halls, you pay for your housing per semester. You have a flat rate that you pay for each semester. You have a rate that you pay for the fall, and you have a rate that you pay for the spring. It's very similar at the courtyards and South Campus Commons, except that you're paying for one total rate. Okay, so let's take for example at the courtyard, the 4-bed, 2-bath is 12 installments of $761. Okay, so who can figure out real quick what 761 times 12 is? Anybody tell me? Bring out a phone. I'll give you a beach chair. Who's got it? Who's got the numbers? What is it? 9,132. 9,132. You get a beach chair. Congratulations. So, a 4-bed, 2-bath apartment is $9,132. Your move-in date is going to be approximately towards that 3rd week of August. South Campus Commons and Courtyards are usually a couple days apart from each other. And around August, this past year, it was August 21st, around that time period. And then you move out at the end of July, like around July 28th. Okay, so it's an 11.25 lease term that you have. So you're moving, there's a 3-week period that the lease does not cover. So you are paying for that entire time period. So we basically divide that total amount out of $9,132. We divide that by 12, and we owe that on the 1st of every month. Okay, so that is how you pay your installments. The first installment being due on August 1st, the last installment being due on July 1st, because you would be moving out at the end of July, unless you renew your same bed, same bedroom, same apartment. When you renew, you get to stay during that transition period. So many of you maybe are upcoming sophomores, and you're going to be living there your junior year, and you like where you live, you want to live there your senior year, you don't have to move out and move back in. If you want to go to a different apartment at South Campus Commons or a different apartment at the Courtyards, yes, you move out and then you move back in on that check-in day. Make sense? Cool. There's a lot of different ways to pay your installments as well. You can pay via check, via cashier's check or money order as well. And the most easiest way is to pay via our online portal. So at the South Campus Commons and the Courtyards, we have our own portal system separate from the University of Maryland portal system, where you would put in maintenance requests, say something was to not be working, you put that in, and you can also set up recurring payments as well. And that's the easiest way to make your payments. Does that make sense? Okay.
Just to note, if you can remember this installment and what he said, a lot of times parents get confused about installments because it's not how a lot of places run outside of student-based apartments. So pretty much anywhere you go that's like a student-focused apartment off campus is going to do installments as well. But it's wrapping your parents' usually head around it is hard because, like for me, if I move in on the 15th of the month, I'm only going to pay for that half month on my traditional lease where I pay like a rent payment. But when it's an installment based, you pay on the 1st, and it's always the same amount. So this might sort of stump older people that haven't lived in student housing. Yes.
Wait, so do you only have 12-month leases?
11.25.
Yeah, 11.25 month leases. Yes, there's no semester lease available. There is something called releasing, which we can kind of go over later, maybe afterwards if you have a question about that. Let's say you're studying abroad, or you're a graduating senior that is approaching maybe you're graduating in December. There is a process called releasing, which would allow you to kind of give up your apartment to someone else to take over the remainder of that lease. Yes.
Are there no down payments?
Are there no down payments as far as you mean?
So do you only pay the like 600, like 700 per month?
Yes. So that's a good question. Are there any like security deposits? No, there are no security deposits, but we do have $300 when you sign your lease. Later on in the process, you fill out your application now. You're going to come to open leasing in March. At that time, when you actually physically sign the lease itself, there is $300 which goes towards your first installment. So it's not a security deposit. So instead of August 1, instead of paying $761, you're going to pay $461 because that $300 that you sign at your lease goes towards that first installment. In September, you pay $761, so on and so on. There's a one-time housing application fee of $30. Yes.
So you said you can keep your stuff there. Do you have to pay to keep your stuff there with a break?
No. Nope. You don't, that apartment is yours during that entire lease period. Yep, good question. Yes? Well, you're going to be paying that when you fill out your lease. So if you're filling out your lease, you have housing.
Oh.
Yes. So when you guys, so for example, today, the application went live on MyDRL. Everyone in here should fill out the application tonight because there's no penalty to you if you decide come January that you don't want to live at Courtyards or South Campus Commons. You can fill out the application, change your mind. The application does not ask for any money or anything like that. It's just signing you up to take part of the process if you choose to do that down the line. Does that make sense? Okay. Next slide.
Double duty.
All right. We're going to spin just really quickly.
It's not good at this. Sorry. Everybody go back. Yeah.
Cool. So I really wanted to kind of show you guys when you guys are looking at other places to live, some differences because, like I said earlier, South Campus Commons and the Courtyards is all inclusive. Okay. So when if you were to live somewhere else in a different community, remember they only maybe offer certain things like we'll pay electricity up to like $10 a month, and then if it's 150, you're paying the rest divided amongst your roommates. Or it doesn't come with internet, you have to set up your own internet. It doesn't come with cable, you have to set up your own cable. What else? It's electricity. We talked about water. Some places they don't, you have to pay extra for water. So remember the utilities and the cost associated with utilities and add that on to their cost. So just to kind of keep those factors in mind. Again, South Campus Commons and Courtyards, along with the residence halls, are the only place where everything is all inclusive. Okay, there's no additional stuff. Plus, you're going to have to pay security deposits at these other places as well. And then that kind of gives you a little bit of a cost breakdown among some of the other places compared to South Campus Commons and the Courtyards. A 4-bed, 2-bath. Like I said, $761. You can kind of see some of the rates at some of the other places and so on. Again, that's rate. These rates are included all of the utilities. So again, these other places, this rates do not include the utilities. You have to add on to all those different things. Cool. All right. Jenny's going to cover eligibility.
Yeah. So, how many on-campus rising juniors do we have here today? Oh, that's usually the case. Usually most. How many sophomores? Rising sophomores, so current freshmen. Seniors. Where do you go? Okay, so all of y'all on-campus rising juniors are first in the line of priority for Commons and Courtyards. Actually, ahead of slide. To be eligible to live in South Campus Commons in the Courtyards and go through open leasing or be pulled in by a current resident, you have to be a full-time registered student during the spring semester to go through open leasing. You also have to be in good standing academically, financially, and judicially. Typically, it's the financial blocks that get people. You basically will have up until your appointment time to clear out anything, but make sure that you know where you stand as we're leading up to open leasing. And I don't think we mentioned open leasing. That was something I would fix. Open leasing is the big meeting that happens at the end of March where the majority of folks will sign their leases for fall. This is where the priority comes into place. After the deadline, which was March 8th, you'll start getting more emails from me that say, this is what your priority group is, this is what your leasing number is, this is what your leasing appointment time is. So when we talk about priority, we're talking about where you are with your leasing appointments at open leasing. Your priority, so on-campus rising junior has the first priority. It's all based on the number of semesters that you've been enrolled in a college or university, including community college, after you graduate from high school. Overachievers, I'm sorry, If you came in with IB and AP and all those other credits, doesn't matter in this situation, but good for you. We didn't have that. So when you think about your eligibility, juniors will have been on-campus rising juniors will have, by spring, will be in their 4th semester in school. And there's a great chart that outlines all of this on the Resident Life website. So we didn't put it up on this one a lot. So anybody on campus is first, so on-campus rising junior, then seniors, oh, you go to that side. Then sophomores, then 5th-year seniors, and then off-campus students. So this is the order that you would be looking at when you're going into selection. If you're an on-campus rising junior, you're also eligible to be pulled in by a current resident, so then you basically don't even have to worry about the big meeting in March. Also for our mixed gender program, which we'll mention a little bit later, that's also a program where if you aren't currently a resident, you have to be an on-campus rising junior to participate in it. How many people think that they will have a mixed group that they want to lease with next year? Like juniors and seniors, juniors and sophomores? Anyone? Yeah, okay. So the way that works, so we have to think of this as a line. So all the juniors, on-campus rising juniors are first in line. Anyone below them can't skip ahead in front of any other rising juniors. So if you are a group that has rising seniors, the rest of your group that's juniors will have to go with that senior because we can't allow them to skip. I think the hardest part for people to take is the off-campus, when you have an off-campus friend that you want to live with. They are the last priority group, and wherever you are in the mix, you have to go to their appointment, which is going to be last. Doesn't mean that you won't get housing in commons or courtyards. Or over the last couple of years, we've had some vacancies in both properties. When it's all said and done, it just limits your choice. Do we have any questions about? Yes.
So let's say you're actually
Credits don't matter. Only semesters. Credits don't matter. I don't even look at it. If you transferred in, what I do, usually if you transfer in and are in the residence halls, the assignments office takes care of figuring out how many previous semesters you have and putting you in the right order. Every once in a while I have to calculate it manually. So I'll go back and look in the records and see when you graduated from high school and when you started your college, whether it was at a community college or traditional or four-year university, and I'll do the math. That's why when you receive the first email you receive from me after the deadline will be to confirm your priority group. So I'll send you an email, say log on to MyDRL, make sure you have the right priority groups. It's not a perfect science, so every once in a while the computer doesn't spit out the right group. So you need to get back to me by the deadline that I tell you, so that I can fix that, so that when you get your leasing number and appointment time, it's in the right place. That make sense? Do you have any questions about priority or eligibility? Okay. Perfect, we're at our question time. One of the biggest questions my office gets, and I'm sure the leasing offices get, is can I use financial aid to pay for my installments? Yes, but you have to basically get a refund check back. It doesn't go through your Bursar account. So after your tuition and fees and stuff has been taken out, if you get financial aid, whatever that lump sum left over is, you request back and you can pay your rent using that. So it's still going to be out of pocket, even though it's through your financial aid. Does that make sense? So after it's dispersed, one thing to remember is that the sometimes disbursements come out after you've already started classes. And in that case, you want to make sure that you have at least the August and September rent ready to go in case you don't get your financial aid in a timely manner. But that first August payment is going to be your installment minus the $300 that you paid at your lease signing. So that's good to remember. You want to talk about switching?
Sure. So I don't like my roommate. Can I switch? You can through the process of releasing. And so only if you find someone to take over your current lease can you switch to a different apartment. So that is kind of how, if you're looking to live at another location or another place within the courtyards in South Campus Commons, it's done through the process of releasing, or if you're studying abroad, or like I said, if you're graduating as well come January. Keep in mind, each year South Campus Commons and the courtyards is 100% occupied year to year. And also keep in mind that South Campus Commons and the courtyards, everyone that went through open leasing got an apartment as well. So don't think you're thinking that you're not going to find a place to live. Everyone that came through open leasing last year had a place to live, all right? Mixed gender?
Do we have mixed gender housing? Yes, we do. Again, like I said, it's open to on-campus rising juniors, and it's a separate process. Basically, that happens before the open leasing process. That application is also live via MyDRL, and the deadline for that is January 25th. After I look at all the applications and make sure everybody's in good standing and an on-campus rising junior, and that they picked the same people to be in the same group, I'll let everybody know, and then there's a meeting on February 8th where we basically go talk more about the parameters of the program and things like that, and then you sign your lease in March 3rd. So if you're interested in living in mixed groups, we have that, just like on campus. These are the important dates to remember. I cannot stress enough, like Chris said, go home after this. I don't even care if you're on your phone, do it now. Fill out the leasing application. I know that Res Life is very generous with their deadlines a lot of the time. This March 8th deadline. Oh, it's not on there. So the March 8th deadline for open leasing is a firm deadline. It's March 8th at 3:59 p.m. If I get your application at 4:01 p.m., you go after the off-campus people and you lose your priority. So I always get at least 2 or 3 that my computer broke. And I'm like, well, what has been not working for the last 3 months? You got a lot of time to do this, and it's non-binding. So it doesn't hurt you to fill it out. So fill it out. If your friends are thinking about it and not sure, and they're not here tonight or they won't be at our future meetings, tell them, because I hate that phone call.
I have a question for you. How much does it cost to fill out the application on MyDRL?
0.
Yes. She was louder.
So are there any questions now that you've received all this wonderful information from us? Any questions? Then we've done our job. If you are not wanting to ask your questions in front of the group, we'll be hanging out afterwards to answer questions. I tend to focus, yes.
Maybe some really dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
How many people, like, are all the rooms singles, are they doubles? Like,
So in South Campus Commons, they're all singles. So you'll have like a 4-bedroom apartment, but you'll be on your own in your bedroom. In courtyards, there is the option of sharing a bedroom.
Yeah, there's like 8 apartments that are where you share a bedroom at the very lower rates. So that's called a quad. So out of the 256 apartments, there's like 8 apartments that are quads.
Yeah, but in both, if you're not in a quad, you're in a single
Yes,
room within maybe a 2-bedroom or 4-bedroom.
max 4 people.
4 people as well. It's 4 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then at SCC, you have 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and like a few 1-bedroom studios. Yes. Yes, because we're 100% occupied, we have to work with students. You're going into actual students' apartments. So we have these specific dates as the only time that you can look at all the different floor plans at both sites. If you have friends at South Campus Commons at the courtyard, by all means, feel free to say, hey, can I check out your apartment? But other than that, these are going to be the only times that you can check out the physical spaces itself. Yeah. Correct.
I'll keep it down. How often does that bus run?
How often does the bus run? It runs very frequently in the morning, about every 10 to 12 minutes. And after the kind of rush hour period of the morning, it will run every 15 to 20 minutes, and then you have your app that you go on, and you can see exactly when that bus is going to be there, and it also announces it at the bus stop. And there's multiple bus stops in the evening hours as well. It goes until like 3 o'clock in the morning until and it starts like 6:50 a.m. as well. Yeah.
How easy in the past has it been to release for like people who have?
It all depends on how hard you work at it. What I recommend when I talk to people is to start as early as you know that you'll need to release. And we have, so my office has their OCH database that the students can post on for free. Both properties have message boards that both leaseholders post in and people who are looking. So you want to not just post there, but also see if other people are posting, hey, I'm looking. And then it's just about really maintaining that communication. We also have a wait list that you can request, so you can contact people who are looking.
To give you an idea, at the Courtyards, everyone that attempted to find someone before the first week of November released their apartment. Everyone that waited till the last second, they had someone that they more likely had issues in finding someone to release. So the further you wait, the less of a chance. Start early if you know you're going to be studying abroad, graduating, etc. Yeah.
Are there any study areas in the book?
Yes, we do have a study room in the clubhouse. It's open till 10 o'clock at night during school nights, 8 o'clock on non-school nights. We have like a conference room, and then we also have a study room. We also have like the TV rec room as well. You can turn the TV off if you only went in there. But yes, we do have a few study rooms.
So when will we know for sure if we don't have a
Great question. Open leasing happens on March 25th, 27th, and 28th. I set up the appointment, and I'm really working hard to get the majority of the on-campus rising juniors in on the first day. There will probably be some overlap into the second day. It's just because it's full. So you'll know by the 28th at the very latest, and that might be a mixed group where maybe you're going with a senior or something.
Question.
But if you're an on-campus rising junior the first 2 days.
Question. How many people that went through open leasing did not get an apartment? Zero. I don't have a beach chair, but I'm very
All right. So yeah, go to the tours in January and February. Fill out your application. Who knows what remembers when the deadline for the application is? Awesome. You're all gonna do it ahead of time, right? All right.
If you have questions, you can feel free to ask Jenny, ask myself, Dara. Yes.